Hey doing everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wake in New England, your favorite podcast on YouTube. Joined as always by my co-hosts.
I'm Anthony.
I'm John.
So what we tried to do here today is basically reimagine a movie with a different actor and see like how it changes the tone, if you will. Now this is purely fictitious just for fun, but I'm going to let Anthony kick it off and then we'll take it over to John.
Now, these guys decided to come up with the idea, and they were keeping it to just one character in a film. At the same token, they kept talking about one particular movie, which I will get into in a moment. So I decided to take it one step further, and I decided to kind of change up almost the entire cast, using basically a film that you guys are talking about. And these guys are talking a lot of Harry Potter. Now, I was thinking for my movie of choice of being the movie Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci. So I figured, what happens if we were to change the characters from Harry Potter world into the Sleepy Hollow world? So I've got basically the idea of having Daniel Radcliffe as replacing Johnny Depp, which might be a little crazy in my aspect because I don't really see.
I was thinking
anybody.
more of like a Snape kind of thing in like Johnny Depp. But
You know what? I did put down a toss-up of Alan Rickman, who played Snape, or Ralph Fiennes, that played Lord Voldemort. But I couldn't figure out which one of them would replace Christopher Walken's character as the Headless Horseman. That was kind of one of the difficult challenges. I couldn't figure out which one I would put into that character, because I think they would both do a fantastic job. Not saying that Christopher Walken did not do a good job with the film, considering he barely had any lines in the movie. But, and Emma Watson would replace, naturally, Christina Ricci. And that's basically kind of how I had it quickly down in my notes.
Okay.
I could actually see a couple of the other characters from Harry Potter being part of the world and possibly being killed by the Headless Horseman as well. But, you know, the ironic thing when I thought of this and then I started looking it up, I just want to give a quick shout out to Richard Griffiths, who played Uncle Vern in Harry Potter, but he also played
asshole.
the Magistrate Phillips in Sleepy Hollow. So that's like the one person that I wouldn't be able to change. I think he did a fantastic job in both aspects.
Take him out and replace him with his kid. Put Dudley in the role.
Put Dudley in the role.
Whatever. Yeah, come on. Come on, John. What do you got?
Alright, so here's my thing. Gladiator. Phenomenal movie. Anyone who thinks otherwise, I disagree. Imagine how funny it would be if instead of Russell Crowe, we had Christopher Walken.
Are you not entertained?
Are you turning it into a
Not
comedy?
entertained. You know, like, my name is Maximus.
You're talking to my man all wrong. It's the wrong tone. You do it again,
I think
stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
it would be so awesome. So awesome if he were the lead. Just to see, in an alternate reality, him as the lead. I think it'd be kind of funny because he has that distinct voice, whereas Russell Crowe killed it. Absolutely killed it. But that was my choice. Christopher Walken as Maximus.
Fair enough. So, folks, I didn't prepare for this in any way, shape, or form.
The only thing that
And
scares me right
I'm
now.
totally flying by the seat of my pants, but let's picture it. So I'm a horror guy, right? I don't usually like to butcher my favorite movies, but I'm gonna on this one just for you. But Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund,
What are you about to say?
played by Pee Wee Herman.
Oh my god.
I mean, just think about this.
Wait a minute.
Pee Wee Herman with the scarred up burnt face.
Which Pee Wee are we talking about?
I'm talking like Pee Wee's.
Are we
like,
talking
Playland,
about
like,
the Playland Pee Wee,
100%.
or are we talking Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No. I'm talking big, Pee Wee's Playland. Like,
all right, that would be freaky.
you know, instead of going the terrifying route, like to just be like so like slapstick comedy while chasing them down with the finger knives, like, like, you know, know, I mean, think about that. You know,
you just came up with this on the fly.
100% on the fly.
Wow.
While I'm listening to you
actually
talk
had me
about
thinking
yours,
you
I pull it out.
had me thinking you were going to say something Christopher Walken related.
No,
considering we kind of accidentally fell on the same wavelength.
Although I did give, like, because originally Adam was supposed to be here to shoot this episode too, but like one idea I actually gave him was like Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope, but being played by Anthony Hopkins,
which he would have been able to do it.
I feel like he could have pulled it off.
I think
you know what I mean?
Hopkins would have been.
But it could have given an interesting flavor to it. You know what I mean? Just with his mannerisms and the way he talks. You know. But Pee Wee Herman as Freddy Krueger,
depending on how he decided to do it, though.
Which actually,
Anthony Hopkins is a fantastic actor, but would he come in with that Hannibal Lecter kind of attitude?
Well, I think he'd be able to do the stoic old man Ben.
Well, if you listen to a lot of his movies, it is that character.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching one not too long ago. He's a priest that does like exorcisms called The Rite, and he has that same mannerism as like Hannibal Lecter, almost down to a T. That's just how he talks. So, but I think it would be cool to see him as Obi-Wan. But Pee Wee Herman as Freddy Krueger, I mean, like, just throw that out there.
You guys definitely went the comic route on this.
Comic, but I think it'd be terrifying in its own right. To be honest, like it's a different level of.
It probably would have brought a little bit of different comedic level to the Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street.
Which supposedly there's another Freddy Krueger remake coming out. They're making a TV show. Rob Zombie's directing, and how's it? DJ Kwan, I think is his name.
Didn't he make a?
I don't know if it's a rumor or whatever, but supposedly DJ Kwan plays Freddy.
Well,
so
didn't
Rob Zombie
make
directs
the remake?
Remake of Halloween. So now he's doing Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay. He also
which
did.
Only leads me to believe that eventually, someday, he's got to do a Friday.
He also did the Monsters, right?
He did the Monsters. Right.
He did the Monsters.
There's one thing you could say about Rob Zombie, folks. He does love horror movies. Maybe not as much as me, but as much as most people do, if not a little bit more. But I refuse to believe.
He's probably as equal as you on the.
I refuse to believe that anybody is on par with my love for the genre. But yeah.
So Rob Zombie, if you're watching this, it's an absolute challenge. You and this one movie.
And to be honest, my horror collection actually rivals what his is.
Oh, really?
Based on what he had for a collection when he showed it off on MTV Cribs. My horror collection rivals yours, so I think we're on the same plane. We both have that love for the horror. So
even then, it would probably be great content for our show to have you guys just talk horror movies.
Man, if you want to invite me to your house and we just have a podcast, man, that would be awesome.
Cool.
I'll stay home for it.
Stay home. You'll be coming. No, we'll all be coming. It's the Wicked New England crew. We are a team.
The Wicked New England road trip to Rob Zombie's house.
How about this? And just because I like throwing out one of those questions here and there on every podcast anyway.
Right.
Usually I do it in the beginning, but I will do it in the end. So what's the first movie you remember seeing as a child in the theater? Like your first movie adventure, if you will. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I know it wasn't the first movie.
You might not remember the first, because you could have been taken as a baby, you don't remember, etc. The first movie you remember.
The first one that I definitively remember, and I was so hyped for it, Spider-Man 3 in theaters. I remember, that birthday that year, all I wanted was the Spider-Man 3 toys or whatnot, and I brought them to the theater.
Did you want the black Spider-Man suit?
Of course.
Yeah,
the symbiote suit.
That's what I'm talking about.
The new Green Goblin.
Mm.
It was awesome. Yeah. How about you guys?
I think I remember going to the theaters to see E.T.
Wow. I remember seeing it on TV.
I want to say that was 85, 86. But I remember being in the theaters. I think my first viewing of the movie E.T. was in the movie theater.
So we didn't go to the movies a lot. So going to the movies was kind of special. But so the first I'm trying to remember now, the first movie I saw. First horror movie I saw, my stepmom actually took me for my birthday. And that was Halloween H2O.
No kidding.
That was the first horror movie I saw in the theater. She bought the tickets, we went in and whatnot, and I got to see
Other than that, you got to see them all prior from
VHS.
VHS.
VHS, Blockbuster, because my dad would allow me to rent horror movies and stuff like that, obviously, because I always believe that too with like my own son. Like, just if you can handle it, you can watch it, kind of thing. As long as you can separate the difference between fiction and reality. I don't believe in the whole what do they call it, the MPAA rating system. I think it's a bunch of malarkey, to be honest, because that's a whole other rabbit hole.
That's a whole
I'm going to
other
go
rabbit
into
hole
because
we can talk about.
You can see gore, but you can't see nudity. Whatever. And people are funny when it comes to their kids, but I don't believe in the rating system. I think your own kid is probably the best thing I can tell you. Your kid can either handle it or they can't, and this is pretty much it. I don't think anything's necessarily off the hook. But anyway,
I'd agree with
we've gone down a side path on this.
I think the most important thing that everyone should be watching is UFC. No, for those of you that don't know, I'm a really big fan of UFC. At the time
more
of
than
filming
most.
At the time of filming this, I am still riding the high that is UFC 309. Charles Oliveira. He's going to be fighting for the title.
Yeah, they're going to be
after
saying this in
Saryukian.
January. So
that's okay. Hopefully by the time you folks see this, we'll have an announced match for Justin Gaethje, because that's who I want to see back in the
I would
ring.
love to see him come back. I would love to see Gaethje come back. I think, if Max Holloway gets what he wants with the BMF tournament,
Grand
that would
Prix.
be dope.
That
That
would
would
be
be
awesome.
so dope.
Yeah.
My picks for that, Max Holloway, of course, he's the holding.
Gaethje, Hooker.
Gaethje, Hooker. Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler would be a good fit for that just because of how entertaining he is. To the point where, I know he had the 2 years where he was just waiting for McGregor. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes for that, though. I don't know if he was being pushed to not take another fight or if he really was just hell-bent on fighting McGregor. I don't know. That being said, you can't say he's not entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
Exactly. Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
But anywho, yeah, I think that wraps it up.
We kind of went off on a tangent a little bit.
If you guys want to hear my UFC reactions, drop it in the comments.
I do remember,
make an episode
but back to the movies. So I'm trying to figure out when they came out to really know. So Halloween H2O was my first horror movie. I saw the Grease revival in theater when they re-released it. I think that was in 99. Maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I want to say that was 99.
Because they had a revival of it. It came back.
Let's fact check.
I saw Titanic in the theater because I was obsessed with everything Titanic.
I did see that
when I was
in
a
the
kid.
theater.
I probably annoyed the shit out of both my stepmom and dad.
Listen, I knew more of the history.
I used to know
behind it
the actual
before
food list that they stocked the boat with.
I knew more of the history of that. I didn't care. I know why they threw the love story in there. I didn't care for it. But I know more of the history of it. I believe they were very realistic with the actual sinking and everything else.
1994 and 2007, but 1994 is when Grease was revived in theaters.
Wow.
Wow, we were way off.
So 1994 and.
So I was just going into high school. Yeah, let's please not talk about that anymore.
So in 1994, I was 8. So I guess that makes about sense, right? Makes sense. So I'm trying to remember, before that, what I've seen in theaters. I want to say I saw Secret of the Ooze in the theater, but I can't remember. Huh? What? You think I'm that old? He's the fucking old one.
Listen, I remember the
jokes.
Charlie Chaplin movie that he played Iron Man. What? I can't think of his name, the actor.
Robert Downey Jr.?
Thank you. He actually played Charlie Chaplin in a movie of his story.
It was called Chaplin.
And it was a fantastic film. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's a great film.
Are you threatening me?
Huh?
You're telling me to watch stuff over here?
Yeah, I am telling you to watch stuff over
Fucking
here.
threaten me.
1992. Comedy drama, 2 hours, 23 minutes.
This was pre-cocaine. Or post... No, pre-cocaine.
I think that might have been
During.
That might have been during.
Yeah, so this was before Robert Downey Jr. was basically ostracized out of the acting community.
But he came back with
But he came back swinging.
He came back with a vengeance.
Iron Man.
That's
what cleaned him up.
And you know what?
Man's a great actor.
He is a fantastic actor, especially if you've seen his movies from the 80s.
Favorite Robert Downey Jr. movie? Well, while we're on the subject, let's just go with it.
You guys go first. You guys go first.
You gotta say Iron Man, aren't you? Or Avengers, or Infinity War, or something like that.
You guys go first. You guys go first.
He's going with the universe. Anyway.
He's going with the universe. The name of the movie escapes my mind right now, but there was a very, very good Peter Cetera song that he did with Cher. That was kind of like the theme of the film. But yeah, anyway.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm gonna say either Air America with Mel Gibson.
That was another good film.
Or I might even say The Soloist. So if you wanted to look at his acting range as an actor, like The Soloist was really good with Jamie Foxx. That was pretty good. John?
Okay, so I'm torn. So I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet. Just throwing that out
What?
there. I haven't seen it yet.
Hold the phone.
I have a
Whatever
feeling-
movie I have next to review is just getting replaced. We're watching Oppenheimer, but we're only going to be able to watch that in the day because it's about 3 hours long. But
Yeah,
we're watching
I still-
Oppenheimer as a
I
group.
still need to watch that.
No, we're doing it as a group. That's
So
it.
of the ones that I've seen, I am kind of torn between Sherlock Holmes and.
Don't say it. I know he's going to say it.
Oh, I'm gonna give the answer that really pisses people off too. Avengers: Age of Ultron. I really
That doesn't
like
piss
that.
me off.
Yeah, some people don't feel that way about that movie, but I
If
know
you
I'm
don't
nostalgic
feel that way about
that.
the movie, please express it in the comments below.
Yeah, I'm nostalgic about that movie, but I really do. I enjoy that one.